The next video is on Chapter 6, which is user accounts and user management. We can describe the local user accounts and groups. We can create and manage users' accounts, manage profiles, and so on. User accounts are required for individuals to log on to Windows 7 and use resources on the computer. Each user account has attributes that we went over in Chapter 5 that describe the user and control access. Some user account attributes are name, password, group membership, profile location. If you go to your Start menu and your Control panel, and you can see user accounts and family settings. You can add and remove user accounts or set up parental controls. Local user accounts are stored in the Security Accounts Manager, SAM, for short, database of Windows 7. Each time a user logs on locally, the SAM database is used to verify logon credentials. However, the SAM database is not used when the user account and Windows 7's computers are part of a domain. It's just for your local computers. You can logon methods. There's different logon methods that you can use. Uh, you can add and remove users. You can make a guest account. Uh, I don't happen to have a guest account. It says, do you want to turn one on? Which you can, and then you can set up the different things for it. You can also get rid of it um, if you don't want it. You can change the picture. You can turn it back off. Anything like that. Windows 7 supports several logon methods. Which method you choose depends on your requirements as a network administrator, user needs, and whether the computer is a member of a domain or not. If it's just a local computer, you can do the fast switching from one to the other. You don't log off, you can just do a fast switching. Um, to take a look at some of the more advanced user information, you're going to go down to your Start menu and you're going to type NET um, PL WIZ, and it will bring this up. You can set it so that the user must enter a username and a password. You can also make it go into the advanced, and you can force them to use the press the Control Alt Delete key to get in, and then they have to sign in with their username and their password. This is, of course, good for businesses. All businesses use this. Fast user switching allows multiple users to have applications running on the background of Windows 7 uh, at the same time. However, only one user can be using the computer at a time. For example, user 1 logs on to Windows 7 and starts creating a document in Word. Then user 2 locks the computers before leaving for lunch. User 2 can come in and unlock the computer to their stuff only. They can't get into the other person's and do that. You can have an automatic login if you want. You don't have to have the passwords or anything like that. Naming conventions for your computer. You can name them anything you want. You can, name them Fred's computer. You can name anything you want. Doesn't have to be anything specific. Default user accounts. In Windows 7, it has administrator accounts and, of course, the guest accounts. Administrator account is the most powerful. Local user accounts positions. You want to be careful with that and not give everybody access to the administration accounts. They can go in there and delete and add, and they can block logins. They can do anything they want. So you've got to be careful when doing that. You can also come in here and you can manage your passwords, add Windows credentials. You can add a certificate-based credential. You can do anything like that that you want. Um, you can go into advanced, and I don't really have anything in here. It's running Windows Premium 7. It's Snap-in, may not be available, may not be used with Windows 7. There's also, of course, like I said, there's default groups, the administrator, backup operations, cryptographic operators. There's distributed COM users, event log readers, guests, network configuration options, operators, performance logs. You can really get really technical with what people can have access to and what people can't have access to, which is quite handy in some situations. Creating a user can be done from the control panel. Of course, the local users and groups is a snap-in, or the advanced user account applicant, which we're looking at now. The next thing we're going to do is just to show you how this works. We're going to create a new account, um, and we're just going to name it S's, and it'll just be a standard user, and then you can create the account, and you can see that it's right here. You can you can also delete the account if you decide you don't want it. In your new account that you created, you can change the account name, you can create a password for it, you can change the picture, you can set up the parental controls, you can change the account type, you can delete the account, or you can go in and manage another one. If you wanted to create a password for this particular person, you could go in here, you'd list their password, and do a password hint just like with everything that you do. If they happen to lose their password or forget what it is, you can go in here and reset their password to something uh, generic, and then they make it so that they have to change it the next time that they log in. Uh, you can change the account type. If you want them to be administrator instead of a standard user, you can do that. And in this case, I'm going to delete this account because we no longer need it. It says, do you want to keep the files? Well, there aren't any files, so we're just going to delete them. And then, of course, it asks, are you sure you want to delete it for the third or fourth time? And you just say yes. A user cannot change the password. Only an administrator can change the password. So you can make passwords that never expire, or you can make passwords that they have to change in every 6 weeks, or whatever that is. You can also disable their account. You can lock them out of their account if you're under the administrator. A lot of times, if you have to let an employee go, the first thing you want to do is go in there and inactivate their account, so that they can't get into the computer anymore and do any damage. I've had some of the people do that. Uh, yeah, administrative properties. I think we went through all that. Let's see. User profiles is a collection of desktop environmental configurations. If you were to log in as someone else, if I was to log out of administrator and the guest was to log in, you would see their background, their desktop. They couldn't get my email or anything else. The cookies are different. Their documents, of course, would be wherever their documents are, not mine. Their favorite folders would be theirs, not mine in the internet. Same with the music folders, pictures, all that. You'd have to sign up a um, printer for them, and so that they could print it. Any games that they'd have, you'd want to do that. Every user has its own things that they have that they use that they want, their own backgrounds, their own files, which you wouldn't want them getting into yours, and you don't want to get into theirs. It's hard enough to do your own. And so you can edit the profile in several different ways. You can also make mandatory profiles, which users can go in there and they can make changes, they can save different things, but when they are logged out, the changes aren't saved, everything is gone. This is good in a teaching environment where somebody might uh, have too many things that they've stuck on there, and then when you close it down or they log out, all the stuff that they had been working on, they're practicing, is gone. You can also do roaming profiles. It's kind of a difficult thing for roaming profiles. I'm not real fond of them. It's stored in a network location rather on the local drive. The benefit of roaming profiles is that the settings move with the user from computer to computer, instead of you having to sign in everybody on a specific computer. Some people shouldn't be using certain things, but the public profile is different from other profiles because it's not a complete profile. The public profile does not include a NT user DAT file and consequently does not include any registry settings. The public profile is a series of folders and contents of folders merged into the profiles of the users. You can go and have different things there.